All right, moving forward in Chapter 4, we're going to talk about moving expenses. So moving expenses are deductible. This is cool, and I forgot to pull out my form, but we're going to look at the 1040 form. And this is a deduction for AGI. So this is on the first page of the 1040 form, moving expenses line 26. So they're deductible here on line 26. Now, I know that some things are changing having to do with moving expenses in the future. I believe that it's no longer, so as of right now, if you get reimbursed for your moving expenses, then it's not taxable income, and it's also deductible. In the future, I'm pretty sure the way it's going to work is that that money would be taxable. So that would kind of stink, especially if it's $20,000. You'd end up owing tax on $20,000 that was really a reimbursement of an expense. It seems wrong to me. I'm hoping that that gets changed in the future. So let's talk about these moving expenses. When are they deductible? Oh, and we use Form 3903. I believe I have that included in your, 3903 for moving expenses. This is a really short form. Let me hold that one up. I have the instructions for it too. Really short. It's just a half a page. That's pretty cool. I like that. So, when are they deductible? There are some rules about this on page 15. They're deductible if you have changed jobs of some sort. It doesn't necessarily need to be a new employer. Maybe they just transferred you. Maybe you got a promotion and you're going to the main office now. Whatever it happens to be, you can't be in the exact same job. It has to be a different job. The time and distance, the distance rule. This is a little bit tricky. The rule is that the distance from your former home to your former job. Actually, I'm saying this backwards. The distance from your former home to your new job must be 50 miles longer than the distance from your former job home to your former job. I drew a little chart. Let's hold that up, see if you can, I'm holding it in a bad place though. Right there, I'll get it just a little bit closer. You guys can pause and take a picture of this, do whatever you need to do, write it down. So A is from your old home to your old job. B is your old home to your new job. So you can't be moving across town and deduct those expenses. B needs to be more than A plus 15 miles. So that's how that works. So if you take a job in Peachtree City, I think that probably qualifies, or Augusta or something like that. But if you take a job, let's say that you're in the Forsyth area, and you take a job in Gwinnett County, that's not 50 miles away. The traffic stinks, and you might want to move closer to your work, but it's not going to be deductible. So it has to meet that distance rule, and it has to be a new job for you. And the last one is you have to have worked for 39 weeks out of the next 12 months in order for this to stay as something that's deductible. Or if you were self-employed, that's one of those rules where, let's say that you're self-employed and you move to a new city and you're starting over with the same business. That's okay, you can do that. But they extend the time period. You need to be in that same business or job for 78 weeks out of the next 24 months, so out of the next 2 years. Let's look at an example here. Daniel works in, I don't even know how to say this, someplace in Texas, and he lives in Lufkin, Texas, a distance of 20 miles. So he lives about 20 miles from his workplace. He accepts a new position with his current firm in College Station, Texas, and moves there. College Station is 110 miles from Lufkin, where he used to live. So Daniel meets the distance test because 50 plus 20 is only 70. So he only had to take a new job 70 miles away from his former home in order to qualify. So that works. The next example I want to talk about has to do with the expenses, and I don't think that I highlighted, oh, I didn't, but there it is. One thing that we need to remember is the expenses that are deductible. So the cost of moving, if you have a rental truck or if you hire somebody to do it, any transportation that you pay, let's say that you hire a truck and then you fly your family, or you drive it, or whatever happened. Most people are going to drive it because they need to get their cars there. And then you've got some meals and lodging. Meals are not deductible, ever. You're never going to find those to be deductible. But the lodging is. If you had to stay in a hotel overnight because it was just too far to drive, your pets couldn't take it, or your children couldn't take it, or even you couldn't keep going, you're allowed that as well. So this example says John is an employee of Pine Corporation. He is hired by Oak Corporation. His new job requires him to move from Denver to Houston. During the move, John incurred the following expenses. Cost of moving furniture, $3,600. Transportation, $500. Meals, $200. Lodging, $300. So basically, everything's deductible except the meals. The IRS figures that you have to eat anyway. Meals are not deductible. That's one thing where a lot of people cheat and they don't realize that their meals are not deductible. I think that that's it for this one. Yep, that's it.